different, we get a chance to dish it up with Dr. Deborah Stroman.
From the basketball court at the University of Virginia to the classroom at UNC Chapel Hill, Dr. Deborah Stroman has it all covered. Now this professor and sports business entrepreneur is about to take you to school. It's time for Dishing It Up with Dr. Stroman and the Sports Shop on Buzz Sports Radio.
D-Stro.
Good morning.
Man, what's
Good
up,
morning,
Dr. Stroman?
good people.
How we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Y'all doing well?
Yeah,
Doing well.
fantastic. Dr. Stroman, before we leave, I want you to answer the question, why do people like to dress up so much?
What?
I just want to know.
You related to Halloween or just in general?
Well, I mean, any chance they can, they will. But they take full advantage of it on Halloween. That's all. I'm just kidding.
Wow. That's, I don't know. Some people are just like to show off what they have in their closet. I don't know. I'm sneakers and T-shirt type of gal, so.
He said, that's it.
Yeah.
What do you have for us today, Dr. Stroman?
Well, I'm thinking about, let's start off with something fun. What's your favorite horror movie or scary movie growing up?
Oh, boy.
What's the one that got you all right worked up? Did not want to see it.
I don't watch a lot of scary
Yeah, I
movies,
don't
but
either.
the
Scary
one that
movies.
I would watch all the time is all the Freddy Krueger series of movies.
So you Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that,
Nightmare
that's
on
it.
Elm.
Yeah. I'm more of a Friday the 13th. Jason
Right,
kind of,
right. It wasn't scary,
franchise.
but that's as scary as I'm gonna get.
I watched most of the Friday the 13th, but the Nightmare on Elm Street. I lost interest after all that. So, I mean, I really wasn't interested in the first place, but yeah, I lost interest after that.
Errol, you got a scary movie?
I really don't. I'm not a scary movie kind of guy. I try to avoid those. Jason.
How
which
about
one?
growing up?
Yeah, Jason. Which one is that? Where Jason was in? Jason. Somebody named Jason.
Yeah,
With
Jason.
the mask? That white mask?
Yeah. I think
That's Friday the
Watched
13th.
that,
That's
yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th. Yeah, okay, that's the
Okay.
one. Yeah, that's the one.
What
I'm
about
not
you, Dr. Stroman?
Yeah, I'm not a scary picture horror. I don't like any of that stuff. But The Exorcist growing up, that was the one.
Oh no!
I only needed to see it once.
I didn't
Chucky.
I didn't get through that one. I didn't get through the Exorcist. I couldn't get through that one.
Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through
And
that
of course, as you all know, there's a lot of truth in that today. You know, certain faiths, certain religions believe in exorcising the demons out of you. So, of course, that just scared a lot of the folks in the country watching that film. But I want to talk about something scary, depending on whether or not you're on the right side or the other side of it. But just talking about the money that's being made in sports.
Yes.
And so if I were to give you 5 choices, the NFL, Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, National Hockey League, and Major League Soccer, which one do you think leads? First off, in terms of concessions and parking dollars, in terms of their revenue, who makes the most money off of concessions and parking out of those 5?
Concessions and parking.
Ooh.
The most money I would have to venture would be the NFL.
I'm thinking NBA.
I'm trying to think which one got the most people in the concessions.
Well, the NBA play 82 games.
Yeah, so that would squeeze it out a little longer. What about baseball, though? They have a lot.
But and the reason I say that is because going to an NFL game is the most expensive game you can go to.
So you're talking about ticket prices.
Ticket prices, parking, getting to the the whole.
So you don't have no money for the
being there.
concessions.
No, well, I mean, and when you do, because Atlanta was the first venue that I heard of said we were going to make concessions actually affordable. You could actually eat when you get here. The rest of them, I don't think they caught on yet. They still $22 for a Pepsi.
Well, actually, the answer is Major League Soccer. They make the most of their revenues from concessions and parking. How about local media contracts, working with local media? Who do you think makes the most of their revenue from local media?
As far as the TV contracts, like the
Define.
Not local TV, local media, not national.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. You said
I'm gonna
local.
go-
I would say NFL.
It's either NFL or hockey.
Yeah.
No, Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball. All right, how about team sponsorships? Who wants to sponsor the team? revenue breakdown. Who makes the most money off of team sponsorship?
NFL.
See, I think I know it's just trending, Troy. So it's not the NFL. It's not the NBA. It's a sport that we don't pay attention to.
It's baseball.
It's probably not baseball.
No.
I would say soccer.
It's right. It's Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
29% of the revenues come from sponsorship.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. How about seating and suites?
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay, now we back to football.
NFL.
Football.
I say NFL. Maybe, probably not.
National Hockey League.
What?
Okay.
Well, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then national revenue. National revenue.
National revenue.
Means who gets the most revenue in the country?
From national. Uh-huh.
The Super Bowl.
I'm going back to the NFL.
There we go.
The commercials of the
Going back
Super
to the
Bowl.
NFL.
National.
That's got to be NFL.
67% of their dollars. So I've said this over and over again, talking about the economics, and it's important that we pay attention to this. The NFL is the most socialistic and the most profitable. So what I want to talk about, which is pretty scary, considering how much money we all make as individuals, I imagine, there's nobody between the four of us that makes more than $500,000 a year, right? That's a good living in this country. But you think about what is going on in terms of NFL teams and their owners about the money. So the NFL, we've got 32 teams. They generated an estimated $20.5 billion last year, 70% more than what the NBA and the MLB teams made. And television is the driving force, okay? So even though we say baseball is America's pastime, and the Premier League, right, has the biggest global reach of any sports league, the NFL is the king, all right? Now, I think it was on Tuesday, the NFL continues to try to find innovative ways, even though most of the guys are really, really old. Like, I have to be careful with that now that I'm a senior citizen. But the NFL finally agreed to let private equity into the space.
Right.
As in private equity firms with more than $2 trillion in assets under management. Now the league is allowing them to have passive stakes because generally private equity comes in, they buy a share or a piece of a private company, as in something that's not traded publicly. And then they want some control. They want to try and do some things. They want to make some money and then get out, right? So they did a passive. So you can invest in the NFL now up to 10% from a select group of institutional funds, and that is big. The teams, again, an estimated $20.5 billion. And all this money comes from gate receipts, sponsorships, concessions, merchandise, luxury suites, and media contracts. So that is why there are folks out there who, if there is a league to buy into, I want an NFL team.
Wow.
The average NFL franchise is worth nearly $6 billion. And the socialism piece, they have a salary cap, right? So this is the way that everybody, except our Panthers, can be very, very competitive, right? Their salary cap last year was $225 million a year. So when people talk about, oh, look at all the money those players are making, or if they make poor decisions, oh, how can they do that with all that money? If the players can make that much money, just think how much the owners are making. Okay.
Right.
In terms of games, NFL represented 93 of the 100 most watched TV broadcasts last year. And in addition to the socialism piece, the NFL, they have a shared gate receipt system, as in 34% of each team's ticket revenue goes to a general pool that everybody shares. So if you do live in, I was going to say Green Bay or Kansas City, but those teams are so good right now. Let's just say you live in I'll say Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
They're getting a piece of what's going on in Dallas, what's going on in Kansas City, right? That's how they make this happen. The tickets in the luxury suites, although they weren't as high as the others, that I mentioned, but they're the next largest revenue bucket for the NFL teams at $3 billion, or 15% of the total pie. Each team gets to host 10 home games including preseason, and almost every stadium are at near capacity. Any guesses in terms of which team leads in terms of NFL ticket revenue for the second straight year?
Dallas.
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
49ers.
Wow.
At $151 million they bring in. Dallas is second with 145, and Philadelphia has 129.
I bet it's the cost.
Any guess on the lowest three teams?
Carolina.
Number 1.
Maybe Jacksonville.
Number 2.
Somewhere Carolina, Jacksonville, maybe Tennessee. Any?
Tennessee's number 1.
Okay.
Arizona's number 2.
Arizona.
And Washington is, well, let me reverse it. D.C. is the worst.
Wow.
Arizona's number 2, and then Tennessee's number 3.
D.C. is the worst?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. DC's
That's
the worst.
interesting.
Wait a minute. DC's the worst.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all
DC's
support
the
y'all's
worst
damn
what?
team.
That's right.
No.
They will now. They're winning.
No, I mean,
Now that they're winning, yeah, but last year they were the worst.
I don't believe this, Paul. I don't believe nothing. I don't believe
I do because yeah, okay. You just saying that?
Because I don't go either.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're not watching the home. We're not watching many of the home games last year, but I imagine that stadium is. That's why they're. The tanking, all of that, whatever it takes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, most of the tickets go to other teams that's come to visit. Used to, so.
Mm-hmm. Sponsorship for the NFL revenue was just over $2 billion last year, or 10% of their total. And the biggest sponsorship categories were ticketing, as in companies selling their ticketing advertisement, financial services, and alcohol. Alcohol, yeah. A big boost to the NFL was Taylor Swift. She performed all 53 of her shows last year in NFL stadiums. Now, Taylor Swift is smart, her folks. She kept all the ticket revenue, with teams getting a small cut or rental fee for their venue. However, teams cashed in with concessions, parking, and merchandise at all of the sold-out events.
Wow.
And then they also had a premium seating demand. Yeah.
Woo.
And so, again, all the TV inventory is controlled at the league level, and only local media rights from radio and preseason games. That's the only thing that the franchises can work with, and so that's why that local media represented less than 2% of overall revenue, versus more than 20% for Major League Baseball. And so I know we're in basketball country, so people like to look at basketball in comparison. But over the past 43 years, 57 NBA teams have changed hands. Over that same period of 43 years, only 24 NFL teams have traded, and only 11 since 2000. As in, once you get in, you're not giving up this pie. There was one owner who made some quick money. I can't remember if it was Tennessee. But other than that, once you stay in, once you get a part of this gravy train, you're in. The current average age of an NBA owner is 62 years old, whereas the NFL group is about 75. It's 75 and higher.
Wait a minute. The current average age is 65 for, what did you say, NBA?
62 for NBA.
And for, what is it for NFL?
Over the age of 75.
That's the average age.
Wow.
Yeah.
She said that's the average.
The new generation of NBA owners is also wealthier than the NFL counterparts, right? The old guys is generally like it was run by family business. Average net worth for an NFL owner is more than $16.5 billion. Wait, make sure I get this right. NFL's average is $8.5 billion. But for the NBA, the average net worth is $16.5 billion, because a lot of these NBA owners are in tech and finance. Okay. And then lastly, NFL owners, their teams account for over 50% of their net worth. As in, this is my product, this is what I live with, this is how I make most of my money. While NBA owners' teams, their NBA teams are just 8% of their fortunes.
Yeah, 8%. Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty scary, but it's also something that, we enjoy. They're going overseas. They're playing overseas now to get that money over there. But the NFL, I mean, that is the big game. It is.
That is the game.
The game. Yeah.
And just think, the little brother, which is college football on Saturdays in this country, how much do they make it? NCAA and college football. Man, that's a lot of money. So they get the same parking revenue. They get the same concessions.
Absolutely.
And now with the NIL, will this start looking more and more like a small NFL franchise, right?
Yeah.
And it's the more of the haves and the have-nots, because now you're talking about, for my college team, what can I do to increase revenues with gate receipts, sponsorships, concessions, merchandising, luxury suites, and media contract? It's the same thing, just on a much smaller scale. But this is what these administrators have to calculate and figure out.
That's a lot of money, though.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of people's livelihoods depend on a game that we all love. It's just a game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Now,
livelihoods.
the NFL, again, can do this and be successful because they got the salary cap. So that's why people are saying we need a salary cap in college football.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's getting out of control.
Yeah.
Let me get their money first, then you put a cap on it. Make up for some past sins, then we can put a cap on it. How about that?
Well, timing is everything. But
Yeah,
it's all
it
about
is.
the almighty dollar. Again, follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
All right, Dr. Stroman.